The station for local community contents is right here on Bob Arts TV. Mr. Dyer, we have an elegant corridor. Is the visitors now going to the corridor?
Not as much as, there's a level of restriction as to movement. So the corridor is not being used as heavily as it normally should be. But I have no doubt as the restrictions are lifted that you're going to see it. And by the way, the TF is going to improve that elegant corridor. It's now on the drawing board, and we're going to spend a lot of money there to make it really elegant.
And can you emphasize for Bob Arts Television where is the elegant corridor?
Elegant corridor starts at the roundabout at Kentucky and straight down to Dead End. The elegant corridor is airport roundabout.
That's from your highway.
The Godfrey Boulevard. Yes. I was mixing it up with the history. And by the way, the development I talked about is not the elegant corridor, it's the history. Thanks for the correction. The elegant corridor starts at the airport roundabout and goes straight out to Iberia Star.
Could that be extended to Ocherias?
One of these days it will. As a matter of fact, what TF has done, you would have noticed, those of you who drive in the nights, you would have seen these strips on the road. Easy to drive now. The TF has done that from Ocherias to Montego Bay, and the next leg is to Negril. So it's a gradual upliftment of joining up Ocherias to Montego Bay.
I've been pushing for a long time for the North Coast Highway from Godfrey Boulevard to Ocherias, like to Island Village, to be called the Reggae Highway. Would you endorse something like that?
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Because a number of developments are to take place. I think we're going to have bypass of some of these places and all that. Let us see the developments take place first. We may name something too quickly and it becomes a back road. You get what I mean? So let us hold off a little, see what the developments are, and then we can determine.
Yeah, this is Mutabaruka here, saying that we endorse the idea of the North Coast Highway from Montego Bay to Ocherias to be renamed the Reggae Highway. I give thanks.
I saw Ras Astor Black this morning on TV. The man was eloquent, clear, explicit, elegant, with knowledge and wisdom. I was very proud, very, very proud. Keep it going. They're going to learn to see your word come to pass.
Hi, this is Mrs. Astor Black, and I endorse the North Coast Highway to be the Reggae Highway. Bless it.
Yeah, well, this is Kimani Mali representing for Falmouth United, and I am in support of the North Coast Highway being renamed the Reggae Highway, yeah? Reggae Highway to the world, North Coast, Jamaica, Rastafari, up top.
So are you saying that because reggae is so important to tourism, and so we want to name the right place for Reggae Highway?
No, I'm not saying that. Reggae is extremely important. But it doesn't mean naming a highway is because it's more important than anything else, or lack of importance why you don't do it. It's just a matter of the practicality of it.
Dancehall as a business is worth billions to this country, and because some damn idiot criminal politician who is part of the throng where bring gun coming out of the country and introduce the country to this level of inter-crime violence, we decide that, guess what, we're going to dash with the man scholarship. Them don't have no value. But if a white man come in at the country with him book and pencil and borrow some of the same people ideas and go write a book about dancehall culture. The whole of Jamaica run go buy it because of some white man write this thing.
Okay. Um, can we ask Danny Melville's son something? Yeah. Um, can I? Yeah. Mr. Melville, can you, for Bob Arts Television, say your company?
Chocolate Caribbean Adventures.
How easy it is for Jamaican to get an attractions license from the tourist board through TPDCO?
It's very easy actually. Truth of the matter is that when you compare Jamaica's process to get registered TPDCO and the tourist board compared to many other jurisdictions, I find Jamaica quite regulated. I find it quite structured. And sometimes you might think that these things are a hindrance to starting your business, but in actuality, once you go through the steps, you find that it's going to set you and the country above many other destinations. I don't think it's difficult at all. It's tedious sometimes, there's many things you have to fill out and inspections and so on, but trust me, it's a good thing. Having incidents, accidents, and unfortunate situations which arise because there's no regulation and no governance is not a good thing for the destination. These things bring that.
The problem Jamaicans having with getting an attractions license is you have to go to different areas like the health department, the parish council, everywhere, but every one of them takes 6 months before you get a letter back saying that you're approved. And we're going through that now to create a Reggae Walk of Fame. It takes 6 months to get a certificate from the health department. By then, your application from the parish council expire. So you have to start all over again. Is it happening for just Jamaicans or even expatriates? Because I noticed. 1 second. Yeah, 1 second. 1 second.
Yes.
How you doing, man?
Good, giving thanks.
Why is it easier for a Rasta man to get a gun license in Jamaica than a TPDCO license to make an attraction?
Boy, to be honest, I didn't know that it was so easy to get a gun license.
Yeah, it's very easy for us to get it as a Rastafari, but the different areas we have to go through to get an attraction license, such as the health department.
Right.
When you get that little approval paper say good, it takes 6 months to get that little certificate, and TPDCO will not take the paper. They want that certificate. It will take 6 months.
So here's the issue. I don't think it is specific to Rasta or anybody else. We realize that the process can be a little bit cumbersome because we don't have full control over the process. So we have to wait on fire, we have to wait on health, we have to wait on multiple third-party entities.
Yes.
And so as much as we can control it, we nudge them. But we recognize that no, we have to make it easier for everybody to come in. You know what COVID has made us recognize? That more people want to be involved than we ever knew.
Yes.
So whereas we had this view that people wanted to stay outside of the net, it's not true.
True.
So we have to be facilitators, and that's why we're changing our role. We're no longer the police of the industry.
Experience is not unique. Hoteliers. Same thing the hotel sector.
So, Mr. Dyer, why is it so? Is Jamaica, is it because...
All of these entities, fire, health, everybody has to do their separate inspection and submit their reports. And some move fast, some don't.
In fact, one of the things we're looking at through JHD and working with the other agencies is that when I first came in the industry 35 years ago, there was TAP, Tourism Action Plan, and they used to come together with health, fire, and everybody else, and you used to just get one thing. It's time consuming for hotels, attractions, and whoever to be having 5 inspections per month, when literally you could have 1. So what we are hoping to do is to make representation to government to bring them together again. So if it's TPDCO, to call health, to call fire, and the police, and say, okay, this month we are going to do 10 properties. And they have it so that they come in as a group. and just do the hotel or the attractions, or just do one area of Jamaica, whichever it is, right? So that we can get rid of. But sometimes we are at fault as well. We are supposed to apply 3 months before the expiry date of our licenses, and very few people are doing it. So it puts pressure now on these organizations to really get their paperwork together in order to inspect us at the same time. And you are right. Now people are frustrated because you go in and you get everything else and you find out, oops, my health certificate is not valid. But with everybody coming together, I believe that it will be a more productive and efficient way of doing things.
As a startup business, and any Jamaican who is doing a startup business to get involved in tourism, when you start to the time of turning everything in and waiting for the one piece of paper to make everything go to the board, that thing expire already. Something expires. So 3 years it's taking Jamaicans to get an attraction license as a startup. But then you see other businesses getting their thing with, so this is the problem we have here.
Just to add to what you're saying, well, it's not easy. I think he's experienced some pros and cons. Because of the footprint of our business, we have just over 110 licenses that we have to apply for every year. I have one lady in our office, that's all she does, 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year.
To track those licenses.
Right? And you know that many of our liability policies, if your licenses are not up to date, it triggers up, the music.
And there's one other thing, and Mr. Dyer, as the chairman of the Jamaica Tourist Board, right? Oh, okay. Do you think it's time that we regulate everything so Jamaicans can get involved more easily in tourism? Because tourism is us, it's Jamaican, and it's us need to be more involved and to collaborate and get everybody.
Tell me what area of tourism a Jamaican wants to go into now and can't go into. There's no area in tourism a Jamaican wants to go into and can't go into.
We have to have a license.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Whether you're Jamaican or a foreigner, you must have a license.
But for Jamaican, it's kind of harder, somewhat.
No more difficult. I'm a Jamaican. I have to go, when I was active in business, I had to go through the same process. Okay. But it was no more difficult for me.
We were the facilitators.
Yes.
So wherever it gets difficult for you, you reach out to us.
And I tell you, it is so difficult, whereas I'm trying to do the Trelawney Stadium. It's taking 3 years of paying public liability. But yet when you go to the health department, it takes 6 months. You go, every department is a new government. So people will sit in their little government and discriminate against Rastafari. As Rastafari step up to the counter, they start singing "Clap Your Tiny Hand for Jesus."
Really?
It's unbelievable, man. And as an advocate and an activist,
yes,
I have to talk out. No matter which political party is power, we have to talk out.
I had to go through the same process.
Okay.
But it was no more difficult for me than it was for a foreigner in the hotel.
There's one other thing, Mr. Melville. Please. Mr. Melville.
Yes, sir.
When you apply for attractions license, do you pay upfront for the public liability insurance before you get the property license? Exactly.
No, the Jamaican, the TPD.
So I'm not exactly sure what you're saying, but whether I have liability or not, it really has nothing to do with my license.
Understand. But yet, as a Jamaican, we have to pay for the public liability insurance first before they accept your application at TPDCO. I'm just wondering if that's the same experience you're having.
To be honest, I haven't
Done my own application in a long time.
You have to have your insurance in place.
Yeah, your insurance is critical.
Whether you're a Jamaican or not. You keep emphasizing as if you have a standard for Jamaican and a standard for foreigner. It's not so. It's not so.
Is saying now that you have to pay up front before you get a license. But yet there's something expiring before you get a license, so you waste all that money for public liability insurance when you never get to use the place until.
Well, as we said, we're trying to bring everything together. And
the next thing I noticed is say if foreigner come to do instruction in Jamaica, you bring all the team together, health, everyone together and make a decision.
You know, I don't think that's TPD though. I don't think TPD has that kind of sway. I think what happens may be a broader reach in terms of the public approach that will allow for that. And then we become a part of that system.
True. Because it's rough on us Jamaicans getting to participate in tourism.
You want to know something interesting? We in Jamaica have developed these professionals, people who have lived within the Jamaican community and who have decided to study the culture, the dancehall culture, whatever we want to take. We mightn't like it, but it is a reality of our existence. Dancehall as a business is worth billions to this country. And because
by bringing everything together, I believe it will solve a lot of your problems. But the point that Sir Daya just made is the same process for foreigners. In fact, I know foreigners, they can't even navigate the system. So they employ locals to get it done. And I opened one of the biggest foreign investment in Jamaica. And we basically had to be out there working with TPD. And the thing is, before you're ready to open, engage them so that they can tell you how to design your kitchen, where to put the sink. Don't build it because you have the most fabulous architect that used the American system, and then when they come in they say it doesn't conform to the local system. So it's a process that you have to go through, whether you're a foreigner, local, or whoever you are.